Hello and welcome yet again to another video diary series for Top Property and Domain.com.au. And last week we obviously finished our wall, so this week was all about getting started on our roof stage.
Well, there'll be a plate running along through here. Yep.
So the very first of those tasks was to get the timber structure into shape, ready for the trusses to be hung. So our carpenters spent their time this week hammering and nailing the rest of the framing, plus all of the fiddly things like bolts and brackets and bits and pieces to get everything ready for the trusses next week. As the carpenters were working on the timber section, Dad and I got the chance to put the waling plates in for our thermocell walls.
So in our case, it was just a matter of cutting out the foam, and we used a grinder and just went around and sliced it out very quickly. It was like a hot knife through very warm butter, and we just pulled out all the foam, getting it ready so we could clip on our waling plate. So what is a waling plate, you might be thinking? Well, I thought the same thing, but it's actually just a timber member that is a support for a truss structure. So because we're sitting within the parapet of the wall there, we've bolted on a piece of F17 structural pine, or a very, very, very strong piece of timber that simply just bolts onto the sides of the wall, and then the trusses will sit within that, within some stirrups or some boots. As well as waling plates, the trusses also sit on top plates. So where trusses span across internal walls, they actually sit on a piece of timber too. So it was just a case as well of going around and bolting them up as well and getting them all ready. So we'd spent all of the week doing the preparation, and finally on Friday our trusses did arrive. So it looks like we're on track now for next week to get our trusses hung and our roof well on its way to completion. So until next time, we'll see you then.
If you haven't already done so, click the subscribe button now to stay up to date with all things top property.